Hello all, I'm doing another feelings check-in video. So enjoy this druid background. Enjoy this druid library is what it is. And take in the calm of it. I want to say please subscribe if you want more content like this. I mostly play games, talk about mental health, talk about having ADHD. Since it's affected my life in like not the best way. But do like try to stick to doing podcast like videos at least once a week. So I would say this week. Oh, and I wanted to say I call these videos feelings check-ins, but it can be a feelings check-in where I'm talking about myself, leading into something else, or it can just be a topical video or lead into a topical video that has to do with something I'm dealing with. So I would say that this week has been interesting. So the consequences of my actions are chasing after me regarding finances, regarding eating out, regarding having a messy room, regarding other things. If we're talking about an ADHD check-in, I um emotionally I've been tired. I need to go to the doctor because I think I have sleep apnea because it's making me so tired, and I do not do well being tired. My medicines help me stabilize me to the point where I'm emotionally more okay with being tired and not as grouchy and babyish about it where I'm like, I can't do it, I can't do it. But yeah, I would say that things in my supervisions at school, they say like, how are things doing work wise? How are things doing personally and how are things doing, school wise? And right now I'm not in school until next semester, which is summer. And I might have a problem regarding finances regarding summer classes and it might be my fault because I didn't do things in advance. I'm really bad at looking at things in advance. So today I'm going to dedicate myself to budgeting. I already cleaned my room. Like I cleaned a good bit of it to make sure it's cleaner than usual. So that makes me happy. I hate it when it's messy. I was writing and journaling yesterday and I was praying about this. I was like, and I asked a friend for prayer, like, please pray for me. I'm just going through hard times. And just like, just seeing how, when I was journaling, the first thing I thought about was clean your room. You know, that's what I thought about. Clean your room because you live in this space. You're here most of the time. Is what you see, and it affects your moods. Like, my environment affects my moods very much so. So that's something I'm learning more and more about myself, that when my room is messy, I bear the consequences. Um, just like, things like if you don't sleep on time for bed, you bear the consequences of that. So that is something I'm trying to, dedicate myself more to today, along with the budgeting. Um, I would say work wise this week has been okay. I'm behind at work, but my supervisor has been very graceful, and she's usually like, it's okay, it's okay. You've gone through a lot of change, which this is the first time in a while where I just went to work and just felt content. Like, I've never, like, the combination with my medicines and my new supervisor change and everything, like, I'm not getting hit with, like, spikes of anxiety or anything like that. I've just been more content, so I can't complain. I can't complain about anything, which has been really good. I had an appointment today that, like, and I talked about how I try to be vulnerable on this channel, but not too vulnerable because there are some things I'm not comfortable sharing, and the appointment had to do with something, and like I've been neglecting that something because of my ADHD. Um, I believe it's been because of my ADHD. It's just hard to start and initiate tasks, and I felt bad about it, but I was like, well, well, I'm the one who has to pay for this and like who has to, physically pay for it, actually pay for it with money and pay for it, figuratively. So that's very, it was very sad. Well, not very, it was kind of sad. It didn't make me too sad, but it was kind of just like, oh, well, I've got to be better at this. And so, it made me realize, some points in life, because I had that crying spell a couple of weeks ago where I was just like, everything's just so overwhelming. And I'm like, I really have to dedicate myself to these goals. And I have a friend who also has ADHD, and hers is different from mine in the way where, like, hers is more, how do I explain, more action based, regarding, just neglecting of tasks, where mine's is kind of more emotional sometimes. I don't know. I can't speak for her regarding that, but, she was like, I am going to have to stay on top of life. I'm going to change things starting tomorrow and dedicate myself to these things, and that's going to look like this. And I'm going to dedicate myself to more structure. And I was like, that's very admirable. I need to do the same thing. Um, like I say in all my videos, whenever I'm talking, like when I'm gaming and chatting, I have the three goals for myself, and that's exercise, keep my room clean, keep financial stability, don't eat out. It's supposed to be super simple things, but I have an emotional relationship with food, like a bad one, and I've been getting the same hyperfixation food every day for the past 2 weeks, I think. I know that sounds bad, and it's not good, and it's like been not good for my finances. So I just have to work with what I have, and I have to bear the consequences. I have to be super strict on my own finances now. Like I have to, until I get paid next week, I have to practice being on top of that kind of thing. I can't, I can't let it waver. I can't let it, I can't let it fall between the cracks because, a lot of people have people in life when it's just you. Like that's why I say that this is for single people very much so. People just out here living life, trying to live life for themselves. Um, which there are blessings that come with it, and also not so good things. And the blessings are usually you only have to worry about yourself. So if you make mistakes, you're only, hurting yourself. So it's just like, well, and I just want people to think about all the good things that come with that because, again, like, you're not hurting anyone else, which is good. Like, so you're not having that shame that comes with, oh, I just can't get right because I can't get right for the sake of this person. And some people can, and sometimes that's what that takes is another person. But, you know, I really want people to learn, and I want to learn myself to be independent and take care of myself. So, like, so today, you can only do what you can do today. Like, I watched a Psych2Go video. Like, it was about like a very serious topic about like you feel like you can't go on. Um, and they said, well, minimize time instead of thinking of the far future. Think about the next 5 minutes. Like, what can I do? And so I was like, yeah, that's really smart. So budgeting, cleaning my room. That's what I can do. And I just had like a kind of a mini, not panic attack, but a mini like, oh gosh, oh gosh, like that. And I wrote everything down that I had to do. I wrote every single thing down. I'm like, I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, and I've got to do that. And these are things that like are very important. And so I was just like, I just need to choose one of those things a day. I need to try to choose one of those things a day, and I'm gonna try to attack it. Like it's a whole battle for me trying to stay on top of life, trying to keep things put together relatively, and trying to manage things well. It's not easy because when you're alone and it's just you and you have addictions, like a poor relationship with food, and it messes with me emotionally too. That's the thing. Like when I don't get the food I want, I don't know why, but it just messes with me emotionally. I get like the food noise, and food noise is when you can't get that thing out of your head, and so like the compulsion is to get the thing you need. And like I've been more tired, and I talked to my doctor, and we adjusted my medications and my dosages and things, and one of them, the the bad part about it is that it makes your emotions flat, but it's really really good for me. And but at the same time, it also makes it hard to ignore impulses, and I think like food and things like that. So he was like, okay, like just take it this way. And so we're gonna see how that goes, and I'm very optimistic about it. I really like that he put me on this medicine. I'm really thankful to the Lord because it's changed my life, and that it really has changed my life, and that it made me realize, oh, this really affects so much because I haven't had the underlying stress and anxiety and discombobulation that comes from that. And like I will say, I haven't found ways to manage it without that, except for changing some frames of thought. Like, and even with frames of thought, sometimes your brain just will not does not want to align with that. And I don't know too much about that level of things, unfortunately. Um, oh, and just to interject, like just to say, I am getting my master's in social work, almost done with that, and I do work in mental health. So I have some background in these things and make this channel mainly to kind of provide some level of therapy. I'm not a therapist, and and I always want to say that the best therapy is going to a professional therapist, like a licensed one, but use what I've learned to give people tools if they can't afford therapy or don't have the time or are not going for any reason. You need some kind of therapy resource. So, yeah, like, and I'm hoping that, like, what I go through encourages people because I do believe that I can change. It's just difficult um, when you have a hard time not following dopamine. Like I'm bad with having a dopamine addiction. Like finding joy outside of dopamine is kind of hard, and I've been praying about it, and also trying to find ways to just put structure in life and to manage things the best that I can. Because when I've been on those paths where I've have like dopamine benders where I've done nothing but follow my dopamine for days and weeks even, and then just come out of it like, wow, I'm very miserable. This did not do what I thought it would do. Um, so yeah, and emotionally, I'm doing fine right now. Like, I can't complain. Things used to be far worse in the past, regarding my emotions and regarding things. I think that I'm gonna do my goals in that way. So just repeating it, keeping my room clean, exercising, not eating out. I'm gonna do my budget, see what things look like on paper. Try to, you know, also look at my insurance because I haven't done that, and I've been paying my medications out of pocket, and I probably haven't had to do that, but I've been too lazy to look at insurance stuff. So that's the kind of stuff I deal with. Um, to be real, just things that seem very practical to other people, but in reality, it's hard for me to stay on top of because I had that crying spell, and I was like, I can't do this alone. Like, it can't just be me doing this. This is so hard. And I remember, when I was praying about that assignment that I had to do, and I just felt this impression. It was like one step at a time. I believe it was from the Lord, and it was like, just do it one step at a time. Just get up, just you know what to do. Just start with this, and then do this, and then do that. And it was very, very helpful. And I just like implement that into as much as I can now, into just about everything. Um, just doing things one step at a time, minimizing things. So just remember, minimizing things into 5 minutes. What can you do in the next 5 minutes? What can you do today? You know, how to manage things at this moment as opposed to thinking of the future or and one other thing they said, what did they say? They said you're not a mess of a person, but you're a person in pain. I like that. I resonated with that because you're just going through something. You're not, it doesn't define your identity just because you feel a certain way. Um, because all you can do is try to pick up and do better from there. And I think that was most of what I had to say for this feelings check ins. I want to do more on more topical things like depression, and I did one on loneliness that you should check out. And one on feeling alone, one on loneliness, and I want to do one on depression. Um, but I think this kind of thing is very important. I really want to reach out to people who have been through what I've been through or going through what I'm going through. Feeling like that hopelessness when it comes to life is just too much in any regards. Like even if things are hard in any regard, just you know understanding your options because working with the population I work with, um, something that I've come to understand is that you only have so many choices in life. It's easier when you work with people to tell them that, but like when it comes to yourself, it's hard. But you have to apply this to yourself. Like you only you only have so many choices. That's usually my job is to go like, okay, these are your choices. Very simple things to do, but sometimes when you're in a crisis, you can't really think straight. So for me, it's like, these are your choices. This is what you can do. This is what you've got right now at this moment. So understanding what your choices are, writing it out, listing it down, and just understanding what your options are regarding what you're going through right now and like what you can do, who you can reach out to for help, or, you know, the first thing that you can get done. So I just want to give that encouragement. Um, I want to say thank you so much to anyone listening. I really appreciate you. I really hope this was encouraging, and we'll have these out like once a week, I think. Um, I know they're kind of short, but I really hope people enjoy them. If people enjoy them more and more, I'd want to make them a lot longer. Um, podcast like format instead of just little bits. But thank you again, and I really appreciate you, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.